Between 1932 and 1972, the United States government conducted one of the most infamous and unethical medical experiments in history. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study deliberately withheld treatment from 600 African-American men, leaving them to suffer while researchers observed the progression of the disease. The study continued for 40 years, even after an effective cure became available. How could something so horrifying happen in the name of science? This is the story of the Tuskegee Syphilis Study, a dark chapter in American medical history. In 1932, the U.S. Public Health Service launched a study in Macon County, Alabama, to observe the natural progression of untreated syphilis in African-American men. At the time, syphilis was a widespread public health issue, especially in poor rural communities. The study initially involved 600 African-American men, 399 of whom had syphilis and 201 who did not. The men were told they were receiving free medical care for bad blood. But in reality, they were being used as test subjects. The men were never informed of their true diagnosis. They were not given treatment, even though doctors knew that syphilis could cause severe complications, including blindness, mental illness, and death if left untreated. Instead, researchers wanted to see how the disease progressed over time at the expense of human lives. Throughout the study, the men were subjected to regular examinations, but were never given the care they needed. Even when penicillin, the highly effective treatment for syphilis, became widely available in the 1940s, the researchers continued to withhold treatment. The men were left to suffer, many unaware that they were even sick. Despite promises of free healthcare, burial stipends and meals, the men were never fully informed about the true purpose of the study. They were not treated as patients, but as subjects for experimentation. This deception persisted for decades, and the toll was devastating. By the end of the study, 128 men had died of syphilis or related complications, 40 of their wives had contracted the disease, and 19 children were born with congenital syphilis. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study is a glaring example of how ethical boundaries were disregarded in the name of medical research. The men were denied informed consent, a core principle in medical ethics, and were misled about their condition. This gross violation of human rights went unchecked for decades, despite opportunities to stop the study. The fact that these men were poor and African American also highlights the racial injustices embedded in the study. Many were illiterate and trusted the medical professionals overseeing their care. The systemic racism at play in the study exploited these men's vulnerability and worsened the already deep mistrust between African American communities and the medical system. The study might have continued indefinitely if it weren't for the courage of whistleblowers. In 1972, a public health service employee, Peter Buxtun, exposed the details of the study to the press. The revelations were shocking. The public was outraged, and the media quickly picked up the story, sparking national outrage. In response to the scandal, the government finally halted the study later that year, and a series of investigations were launched. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study became a national embarrassment, leading to reforms in how medical research was conducted and sparking a national conversation about ethics in science and medicine. In 1997, President Bill Clinton formally apologized on behalf of the US government for the Tuskegee Syphilis Study. Survivors and their families were invited to the White House, where Clinton acknowledged the profound harm caused by the study and the long-lasting mistrust it created. The apology was a step toward healing, but the damage had already been done. The study left a lasting scar on African American communities, deepening mistrust in the healthcare system that continues to this day. It also led to important reforms in medical research, such as the establishment of the National Research Act, which requires informed consent and protects human subjects in clinical trials. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study was a betrayal of trust and a violation of human rights. It serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of ethics in medicine and the need to protect vulnerable populations from exploitation. Thank you for watching this episode of The Forgotten Chronicles. If you found this story compelling, please like, comment, and subscribe. How do you think the Tuskegee study has shaped our views on medical ethics today?